If you've walked into a Walmart recently and walked out frustrated, you're not alone. Across the country, families, seniors, and everyday shoppers are quietly choosing to go somewhere else. People who once depended on Walmart, people who memorized its aisles and budgeted their groceries to the dollar are quitting. Not in protest, not with signs or hashtags, just slipping away. The reasons they're doing it start small. A carton of milk that tastes off, a package of chicken with a strange smell, a list of essentials that somehow can't be found. You tell yourself it's a one-off. A weird batch, a bad delivery day. But then it happens again and again. And next thing you know, the place you trusted is now the last store on your list. This isn't just about store layout changes or long lines. This is about trust being quietly broken. And customers slowly realizing, I can do better elsewhere. So what's really happening at Walmart in 2025? Why are millions walking out and not coming back? Let's start peeling it back. Reason number one, the food no longer feels safe. Now, we've all had a bad grocery experience. Bruised fruit, mushy lettuce, a leaky yogurt cup. But in 2025, what we're seeing across Walmart stores isn't a few glitches. It's a larger pattern, one that shoppers across the country are reporting in growing numbers. Sour milk before the date, chicken that smells off when it hits the pan, greasy-looking cheese that starts sweating in the fridge, even when it's sealed. A woman in Colorado posted a photo of her Great Value string cheese melting into yellow goo, completely sealed, unopened, but clearly spoiled. In Ohio, a father of 3 says he got sick off deli ham that looked fine, but tasted chemicalish the next day. He said what bothered him most wasn't the stomachache. It was the fact that he didn't trust Walmart food in his fridge anymore. He tossed out everything from his last grocery trip, and stories like that are piling up. Now, is every Walmart store selling bad food? Of course not, but these aren't isolated. And when enough people post the same things over weeks across states, you start to wonder what's going on behind the scenes. Here's what we do know. A USDA report from early this year confirmed multiple temperature violations among Walmart poultry distributors. That means cold trucks running too warm, refrigerated sections not being checked frequently, seafood sitting too long on loading docks before it's stocked. In plain terms, even if food gets to the store on time, it might already be unsafe. And let's not even start on the recalls. In just the first 6 months of 2025, Walmart has pulled thousands of dairy and meat products from its shelves. Mold and shredded cheese, undeclared allergens and frozen dinners, even plastic inside packages of ground beef. One recall in April involved over 200,000 pounds of store-brand frozen chicken. Why? Because the internal temperature wasn't properly verified before it was shipped. Basically, they weren't sure if it had been kept cold enough to kill bacteria. And look, accidents happen. Every big store faces recalls. But when it's happening over and over, same types of food, same suppliers, same stores, it's no longer just unfortunate. It's systemic, and if you're older or your immune system is fragile, that's not just annoying. That's scary. A cold salad from Walmart shouldn't put you in the hospital, but for some people in 2025, it has. Let's call it what it is. It's easier to lose trust than to earn it back. Every time a family finds grayish chicken in their fridge or a slimy yogurt in the morning, that's another Walmart customer walking out and rethinking their loyalty. Once that happens, it's not just bad groceries, it's broken trust. And that has ripple effects. Which brings us to reason number 2. Walmart's once unbeatable prices aren't unbeatable anymore. This one hurts because, let's be honest, for decades, Walmart was the cheapest game in town. If you didn't want to think too hard about comparison shopping, just go to Walmart. The milk might be bland, the line's long, but the prices were reliably lower than anywhere else. It was simple math. Budget gets tight? Head to Walmart. But 2025 has exposed a new reality shoppers are starting to wake up to. Walmart may not be the value leader it claims to be anymore. Organizations like Consumer Reports and Nielsen have been tracking this shift, and the numbers are honestly kind of surprising. Over 70% of basic staples tested, milk, eggs, cheese, cereal, even baby wipes, were cheaper at Aldi. Not the same price, cheaper. In some cases, by as much as 20%. And it's not just Aldi. Kroger, Costco, even regional chains like H-E-B and Meijer are starting to beat Walmart at its own game. So how does Walmart still advertise low prices when the data shows otherwise? Here's where it gets shady. Shrinkflation plays a big role. That box of cereal looks the same size? It's not. You're just getting fewer servings in it now. The packaging has changed, but you wouldn't know unless you flip it over and do the math. Then there's price cycling. A product quietly goes up by 60 cents one month. Then, next month, Walmart slaps a yellow rollback sticker on it and takes off 40 cents. The price is still higher than before, but shoppers feel like they're getting a deal. Walmart isn't just losing its price edge. It's starting to rely on tactics that look less like savings and more like stage magic. Smoke, mirrors, and markdown tags. And customers are catching on. A Kansas mom posted side-by-side receipts for her weekly groceries. One from Walmart, one from Aldi. The Aldi total was $28 cheaper. with better produce and fuller packages. Her comment was short. It's not about pennies anymore. It's about being played, which leads us to reason number 3. The stores just feel emptier, not in a peaceful Zen way. In a neglected way, fewer cashiers, half-stocked aisles, customer service reps who look like they're hanging on by a thread. If you've been to a Walmart recently, you've probably noticed this. At first it feels like bad timing. Maybe your local store is just understaffed this week. Maybe the truck was late, but then it happens again. And again, Walmart's service decline is visible and deliberate. Internal memos show that in early 2025, Walmart quietly cut tens of thousands of in-store support roles. They call it automation. They say it saves time and money, but for regular shoppers, it just means longer waits, fewer workers, and more confusion. And when help does arrive, it's often rushed or irritated or totally out of the loop. Is that the employee's fault? Not really. Behind the scenes, they've been given increasingly impossible expectations. Serve more customers, stock more items, clean more aisles, solve tech glitches, do it faster. With fewer people on the floor, no wonder service feels checked out. And when that happens, when even employees don't feel supported, there's only one direction the customer experience is going: down. Customers aren't asking for luxury treatment here. They just want someone they can flag down. A sense that someone knows they're there, preferably before they've been standing in front of the locked allergy medicine for 12 minutes. Absent service isn't just frustrating. It sends a message that you're not worth the time anymore, and when a shopper feels invisible in your store, they usually don't fight it. They just disappear. Reason number 4, self-checkout has become a slow-motion disaster. When Walmart first brought in self-checkout years ago, it was sold as progress. Faster lines, fewer crowds, more freedom. You don't have to wait behind someone unloading a cart full of groceries. You scan, you pay, you leave. Simple. Except in 2025, it's not simple anymore. What it feels like now isn't freedom. It's unpaid labor. Customers across the country are noticing the same pattern. You walk in for 5 items. Try to hit a quick self-checkout. And suddenly, you're 15 minutes into battling a machine that keeps freezing, beeping, flagging you for errors you didn't make. Unexpected item in bagging area. Please wait for assistance. Again, and again, and again. At some point, it's easier to leave the cart and walk out empty-handed, and it's no coincidence. Walmart has gradually removed most of its staffed checkout aisles. In some locations, entire sections of the store only offer self-checkout or app-based scan and go. They call it streamlining. But customers are starting to call it what it really feels like: outsourcing labor to us. And here's the part that really stings. Prices haven't gone down. Service hasn't gone up. The only thing that's changed? You now do the work of scanning, troubleshooting, and bagging, while paying the same or more. Walmart saves millions in labor, but customers eat the cost in time, annoyance, and mistakes, and those mistakes, they're everywhere. A leaked internal audit from earlier this year showed Walmart lost over $3 billion in self-checkout related issues. We're talking about missed item scans, errors with pricing, bagging mishaps, people walking away from glitchy machines without finishing the transaction. Not all of it is intentional theft. A lot of it is just systems failing under pressure. Machines that punish small errors or leave customers with no backup when things go wrong. Imagine being in your 70s, relying on Social Security, and getting stopped by a store employee for a scan error you didn't even realize happened. Imagine the embarrassment, the stress, the doubt. Shoppers aren't forgetting those moments. One senior in Pennsylvania shared her story after a $3 toothpaste scan didn't register properly. She was stopped at the door and talked to for 10 minutes like a theft suspect. She started crying in front of strangers. Her words later? I don't go there anymore. I don't feel safe. She's not alone. Seniors, and disabled shoppers in particular, are reporting stress and confusion around these new systems. Buttons too small, screens too fast. Bagging areas that throw up error messages if you so much as set your purse down. It's not empowering. It's exhausting, and what's worse, it feels like Walmart knows it's bad, but the decision's already made. Cutting costs matters more than customer experience. Some shoppers have taken to calling it the self-checkout trap. Like you're doing all the work, but the store's saving all the money. Not just saving, profiting while your stress level goes up. Competitors are already exploiting the backlash. Kroger recently launched a campaign boasting 100% staff lanes in several regions. Publix has actually removed self-checkouts in communities where seniors rely on in-person service. Even regional grocery chains are running with this, offering friendly, in-person checkout as a feature, not a fallback. One Ohio store even added a sign, "Real people, real service. You deserve both." And honestly, that kind of messaging works. Because convenience isn't the only thing people want when they shop. They want things to work, to make sense, to feel human. If buying groceries gives you a headache, you start buying them somewhere else. Reason number 5, shelves are constantly empty, not just during high-demand weekends or weather events. On Totally Normal, midweek visits, shoppers report dozens of missing basics: bread, coffee, frozen pizza, peanut butter, pasta, yogurt, all just gone. One shopper in Arizona filmed an entire cold aisle cleared out like it was the day before a hurricane. No sale, no shortage notice, just rows of empty fridges and a random sign that read, "Restocking in progress." That was 10 days ago. Still empty the last time they checked. This isn't isolated to one region. Nielsen's summer regional supply analysis found that over 38% of Walmart stores had persistent availability issues on at least 10 routine grocery items per week. That's code for their shelves stay empty. Why is this happening? Insiders say part of the issue is internal streamlining. Walmart has been trimming the number of suppliers it works with. Less variety, fewer partners, faster inventory turnover. The idea is to increase profits while reducing logistics headaches. But here's the flip side. One glitch in the supply chain, and there's nothing left to back it up. And in 2025, the supply chain is full of glitches. Weather events, labor shortages, shipping delays, port issues. Pick one. And because Walmart cut so close to the bone, there's zero slack. One supplier misses a shipment for frozen vegetables, and half the region has empty freezer sections for the week. Another issue? Understaffed stocking schedules. Associates are reporting online that staffing cuts have made it impossible to keep up with truckloads. So even when product is in the back, it isn't getting to the floor fast enough. You'd think a company this big could solve that. But it appears they've decided it's cheaper just to accept the slippage. Problem is, shoppers don't. They came in for tuna, peanut butter, rice. If none of it's on the shelves, they leave. And worse, they don't just skip the items. They skip the store next time. Because it's not just about customer convenience, it's about reliability. In uncertain times, people crave a sense of routine, knowing that the basics will be there, that your grocery trip won't be a guessing game. Once that predictability vanishes, people don't feel frustrated. They feel anxious, and customers don't return to stores that make them feel uncertain about feeding their kids. Reason number 6, Walmart's store brand is losing credibility. For decades, shoppers who wanted to save money and didn't care about designer brands went straight for Walmart's in-house labels. Great value, Equate, Market Side, mainstays. They weren't fancy. But they worked. People stocked their fridges and pantries knowing at least this part of their cart would be affordable and dependable. But in 2025, shoppers are saying even that promise is falling apart. You've probably seen it yourself. Great value items that once looked fine, now feeling cheaper. Thinner packaging, tasteless sauces. Broken cookies inside sealed packages. Pasta that clumps together the moment it hits boiling water. And then come the recalls. Earlier this year, a batch of Great Value peanut butter had to be pulled across more than 30 states after testing positive for salmonella. A few months later, a supplier for Great Value chicken strips delivered product contaminated with bits of plastic. These are not minor label misprints or flavor tweaks. These are basic safety failures. And when the brand name is literally Great Value, the irony cuts deep. Because if shoppers no longer associate it with trust, safety, or consistency, what exactly is the value? More than anything, budget shoppers want reliability. That's what a store brand exists for, to be the dependable option when you can't afford splurges. But once people feel like they're gambling with low-quality pasta, or tossing the second half of every box of cereal into the trash, they start doing the math. And increasingly, they're deciding that cheap isn't the same thing as good. Aldi's version of store brands, flying off shelves, Costco's Kirkland label, one of the most trusted private names in the country, built on reliability, Walmart's Great Value line. Turning into a punchline, one shopper posted, "It's not bad enough to sue them, but it's definitely bad enough to shop somewhere else." Translation? Low quality doesn't always spark protests, but it does spark a quiet, steady migration to better options. And in retail, that's how empires crack, not with explosive scandals, but with slow erosion. So when you zoom out, connecting spoiled food, fake markdowns, empty shelves, disappearing service, clunky machines, and lower quality basics, you're left with the question fueling this exodus. If it's no longer cheap, no longer good, and no longer reliable, what exactly does Walmart offer anymore? For decades, it was dependable. Not perfect, but dependable. And right now, that word doesn't apply anymore. The question isn't, why are people leaving Walmart? The question is, what reason is left for them to stay? Reason number 7, people feel invisible inside Walmart. Now, that might sound dramatic, but spend 15 minutes walking through a Walmart in 2025, and you'll start to feel it. No greeters, no one restocking nearby, no friendly, "Let me grab that for you." Just blinking kiosks, tired employees sprinting between tasks, and overhead announcements that somehow make everything feel even more impersonal. This might have been the most surprising shift for longtime customers. Not spoiled food or bad prices, but something more subtle. The human part disappearing. You used to walk in the door and see someone smile. Now, you count yourself lucky if anyone makes eye contact. And if you actually need help, good luck. Whole departments feel deserted. Locks on OTC meds. Empty service counters. No phones at the fitting room. Lawn and garden? Forget calling for help. Just be glad if you can find someone who can open the gate. Ask for assistance and you'll likely watch an overwhelmed worker radio for backup, which may or may not ever come. For seniors, this isn't just an inconvenience, it's a betrayal. Because for some retirees, their weekly trip to Walmart isn't just about stocking the fridge. It's their one outing, their one place to interact with people that week. Their safe zone. But that trip, that routine, now makes many feel like a burden. A widow in Virginia wrote online that she stood quietly near the locked allergy medicine for 12 minutes before anyone came to help. No one said hello. No one apologized for the wait. The associate just said, "You ready now?" That tone? It hits harder than you might think. Another woman in Michigan shared a video of her 82-year-old father struggling to lift a case of water into his cart. An employee walked by, earbuds in, never breaking stride. Would that have happened 10 years ago? Maybe, but now it's everywhere. And again, it's not always the employee's fault. From what current and former workers are saying in online forums, the staffing is razor thin. One worker might be responsible for a whole department, sometimes two. They're not trained. Just thrown in, told to catch up, and expected to handle every problem thrown at them with a friendly smile. For 15 hours. When you're being burnt out like that, you stop making eye contact. You stop caring even when you don't want to, and shoppers feel that change deeply. Because retail isn't just transactional, it's emotional too. Especially for older customers, parents juggling kids or lower income families trying to make tight decisions in the aisle, a nod. A quick, "You finding everything okay?" A cashier who says, "Take your time." That's what made the Walmart experience feel human. In 2025, those small gestures are nearly extinct. And so, once again, competitors are watching and adapting. Not with fancy tech, but with the basics. Publix and H-E-B continue to get top marks in customer service rankings. Not because they've changed the game, but because they haven't. They kept people on the floor. They believe in helping customers without making them ask for it multiple times. They believe that being seen and valued still matters in a store. Walmart, meanwhile, seems to believe efficiency is worth more than connection. But here's the hidden cost. Shoppers who feel unseen, unheard, and undervalued don't complain. They just leave. No drama. No confrontation. They quietly never come back. Which brings us to reason number 8. Digital pricing tricks are pushing customers away. This one is sneaky, and for a while, nobody noticed it happening. Prices that change at different stores, tags that don't match the app, in-aisle signage that's outdated or misleading. Shoppers across multiple states have now started noticing that the price online and the price at checkout don't always match. Seems like a glitch, right? But then they try to price match and get told, "Sorry, we don't match prices from our own app anymore." That's right. In many locations, Walmart no longer honors its own online pricing in store. So if a bottle of shampoo is $4.29 on the app and $5.48 in store, guess what? You're paying the higher price unless you're doing mobile pickup. How does that make sense? It doesn't. And shoppers are noticing. One man in Georgia posted a video showing 5 items on his receipt, all priced higher than they were on Walmart's site. When he asked to match them, the assistant manager simply said, "That's an online-only deal. You should have done pickup." So let's break this down. Walmart's physical stores, the same ones they told communities would stay competitive, are now intentionally charging more than the very app from the same company. That's wild. For seniors who aren't app savvy, that's a penalty. For shoppers who just want to browse and pick their items in person, it's a punishment. It feels like a trap. And customers don't like feeling tricked. They don't want to have to run a price check on every item in the store just to make sure they're not overpaying. They don't have time for mental gymnastics after working all day or taking care of their families. And with more pricing inconsistencies showing up between in-store signage and final receipts, a lot of people are feeling cheated. We're not just talking dimes and nickels. In one example, a California shopper noticed his rollback frozen dinners rang up 25% higher at the register. When he showed the associate the price tag, she shrugged. "That tag's old. I'll get it changed." But it had been up all week. That same error applied to dozens of passing customers. How many noticed? How many paid too much without realizing? How many stopped coming back after realizing? Because here's the thing about trust. Again, once someone feels burned, they start questioning everything. And once that seed of suspicion takes root, it doesn't go away quietly. So let's take a step back here. So far, we've looked at 8 reasons millions of people are quitting Walmart in 2025. And what's striking is how interconnected they are. It's not just one thing. It's not just bad milk or scanner errors or empty freezers. It's the pattern. It's the feeling that every part of Walmart's system is under pressure, and that pressure is showing cracks. Here's the 9th reason. What used to be Walmart's greatest strength, the all-in-one experience, now just feels overwhelming. Back when service was better, shelves were full, and prices were predictable. The giant size of Walmart stores felt like a feature, not a flaw. You could get groceries, sweatpants, poster board for your kids' science fair, dog toys, and cold medicine, all in one trip. But now, that same size feels like a burden, especially when half the things you need are out of stock. No one can help you. And prices aren't even lower than the smaller stores down the street. It's like wandering through a ghost mall. A mom in Texas described it this way: "It's a mile walk from the kids' socks to the peanut butter, and after all that, I still end up going to Aldi tomorrow." And honestly, she's not exaggerating. People are tired. Emotionally, mentally, financially. And right now, more than ever, shoppers do not want to exert massive effort for mediocre results. Dragging kids through a giant store or circling frozen aisles, hoping to find one intact bag of vegetables, might sound like a minor hassle. But it wears people down. Week after week, it chips away. Whereas Aldi, small, quick, no frills in and out. Costco, stocked, fair, transparent. Even Dollar General, tiny, chaotic, but stocked up on the basics. Don't underestimate how much people crave ease right now. And what's wild is that ease was supposed to be part of Walmart's identity. Now, it's competitors that are delivering simpler, smarter, smoother shopping. Shoppers are adapting. They're building new habits. Instead of pulling into the giant Walmart parking lot, they're mapping out quick, lean, multi-stop routines. Aldi for staples, Costco once a month for bulk, Target for household goods, and a local store for produce and meat. At first, it sounds inefficient. More stores, more stops. But guess what? They're actually saving time. They avoid long lines, get in and out faster, and most importantly, get what they came for. That's the part Walmart seems to have forgotten. It's not just about having everything in stock. It's about delivering on your promise. The promise that when someone comes in, they'll leave with what they need at a fair price without feeling like they just ran a marathon. And in 2025, that simple promise feels broken. Walmart isn't just losing customers. It's losing its role in their routine, their confidence, their trust. And once that happens, even once, most folks don't go back. Maybe Walmart will make huge changes by next year. Maybe they'll bring back more human faces, fix the supply chain, tighten quality control, realign pricing. It's possible. But it won't be easy, because winning people's time is hard. But winning back their trust? That's a way bigger mountain, especially when the people who left aren't angry anymore. They're just relieved, freed from the stress Walmart had quietly baked into their lives. Relieved not to stare at fake discounts, not to pour out spoiled milk, not to wonder if the phone charger labeled $9.98 will ring up as $12.88, not to walk half a mile through a warehouse aisle just to be told customer service is closed for the day. Relieved to shop in peace and get what they came for. That's the sneaky lesson here. When a store like Walmart breaks trust, the end result isn't outrage. It's liberation. People don't need to complain when they've already found something better, and in 2025, millions already have. So if you've been wondering why Walmart looks a little emptier, more ghostly, more frustrating, maybe the answer is simple. The people who made Walmart what it was, the moms, the retirees, the working class families, the everyday shoppers scraping together dinner plans. They didn't get loud or cause a scene. They just walked out, and they're not walking back. Because when a brand forgets who it's supposed to serve, the people it forgot figure out how to serve themselves.